Premier League as we stand?
Yeah, I mean, he gets away. He's sat in there. He sometimes gets criticised of not wanting to do the hard work, but I think this first half, Marcus Rashford has actually done a job for the team. But these are the areas ultimately you want to get him on, and asking questions of Martinez there.
A little more encouraging from Marcus?
Yeah, I agree. Well, he has been like that the last few weeks when he's been playing. He's got his 2 or 3 goals, which we thought would give him a little bit of confidence, and that's the area where he does like to play on that left-hand side, cuts inside, and you almost think it's a really good chance for Marcus, a little bit more than a half chance, but he hits it straight at the keeper.
What about Villa and at the other end?
I think they'd be disappointed the way they played. I thought it's been a bit dead, after the Bayern Munich game. They had a couple of half sniffs, in there. They're better when they're more precise with their build up. Again, this kid Morgan Rogers on the ball on the half turn there. You see him pick up that ball and he finds opportunities to change it off the bench. Big John Duran is on the bench who could come on. But I agree with Paul. I think there is small steps there from Man United. I think they've been pretty well organised and they've dealt with any threat what Aston Villa have had.
Is it Manchester United or is it a lack of fluidity from Villa?
Yeah, a little bit of both, but I think it's really harsh not to give, when there's an opportunity to give Man United some credit, I think we have to try and give it to them, and I think let's give them the credit and the benefit of the doubt because it's been a little bit disjointed on both sides. A few players going off injured as well from both sides, so see who copes. Now, it's just keep our fingers crossed for Man United's sake that he doesn't decide to bring off Marcus Rashford at half-time.
Yeah, which he did on Thursday night. Just they need a little bit more of a cutting edge, United.
Yeah, they do, but look, it's away from home against a team are going really well, so I think 0-0 did have took that at the start of the game, I would have thought. Look, they've had a couple of half chances, as we said. But yeah, you need a bit more quality if you're going to win a game of this stature. In the final third, they're going to need a little bit more. I think Ireland's been a little bit quiet, some decent runs, but again, not being found. Bruno Fernandes, your best player on the pitch, really hasn't really performed yet, hasn't really got into the game. So, look, a bit more involvement from them. I think they'll create some chances.
Yeah, I think from Manchester United, just a little bit more clinical when they get up there. Probably attack with a little bit more belief. They're just probably haven't got that balance quite right. They are worried a couple of times when Rodgers is...
Actually, I don't think they have.
No. I think it's pretty similar. I mean, the two players who, like Maguire and De Ligt, are very similar. He's not any quicker than Harry Maguire. They still keep the same height of line. So, no, I don't think there's too much change there.
OK, all to play.
He's pulled something out of
I don't think both teams are anywhere near the best. But yeah, look, it's a point for United going to a tough ground under a lot of pressure. I never really felt like they went there to try and win the game. It was more of a survival tactic more than anything. But look, from everything we said before the game, they were quite tough to play against, I suppose, today. And you have to take into account the midweek fixtures, especially. I think from Villa, big lift against Bayern Munich, winning that game, big atmosphere, and they struggled to really live up to that today, and you could see they probably suffered a little bit. And again, for Manchester United to go away in Europe is difficult on a Thursday night.
With them, unfortunately.
OK, not the most classic game. We were watching the Premier League, but United will take the point and the clean sheet, and our good friend Peter Schmeichel in and amongst it there. Time this season. Here he is, 36-year-old Johnny Evans.
Well, Johnny, maybe not perfect, but better today from Manchester United?
Yeah, I mean, like I say, it wasn't perfect. Passed the ball as well, but we would have liked to. But we got a point against a good side, away from home. And the other night conceding 3 goals, we wanted to be a bit more, maybe defensive minded and make sure that we didn't concede to give ourselves a chance. And we're looking for maybe that one sort of moment of quality or counter attack that we nearly got at the end. But fair play to Villa. I thought they were a good team and they played well today.
Yeah, like you say, they are a good team. But defensively, did you feel pretty comfortable? There was a real late scare, wasn't there? But generally, pretty comfortable?
I think, they've got good players, so you're never comfortable. And, Ollie Watkins and, playing on the shoulder and, he's aggressive, a very good player. So you've always got to be on your toes and ready. And, we had to make it tight today and not try and give him too much space. And I think we did that well.
And do you have to I'll just have to word this right, but as the years tick by for you personally, do you have to adjust how you deal with players like Ollie Watkins when they're on the shoulder?
I don't think so. I still feel like I've played a game I always have, and to get me out of those moments. So while I've still got that and feel like I've got that, I'll just play the same way.
Look, I know you love putting your body on the line for this football club. What has this week been like? Sort of pressed into service on Thursday night and then starting the game again today. I wonder when the manager told you.
I know he told me after the game the other night, but I think even the match against Porto, I wasn't expecting to come on at all. Victor's coming back from injury, back on the bench, and it's unlikely that you're ever going to make double centre back substitutions, should I say? But to come on, I just enjoy every moment I'm out on the pitch now, and every game I go into, I just get you just have that buzz for it. You really appreciate it, enjoy it, and try and make the most of it.
And I'm sure you'd be the first to say, Manchester United, when things are going well, best club in the world to play for. But when it's like how it's been,
Still is.
Still.
Yeah, I mean, it's a privilege to play for this club, and I think that with the pressures that come with it, it's also it's a part of it, and it's a privilege too. And you can see the fans, at the end there, the way they travel, and the support that they've given the team. I have to say, they have supported the players massively over the years, and it's great to see, and all the love that they give us.
Yeah, and talking of those pressures, credit to the manager today, the performance he got out of you, the way he set you up to get a result at a really tough place.
Yeah, and it was great for him to see that. He was, the other night, he got a bit. You could see it on him. The emotion of letting that game sort of slip away, and how big a game it was. So to go out there and sort of put in a performance for him, you could see that everyone was running themselves into the ground, and was able to make the substitution to bring lads on to freshen it up. And I'm pleased for him that he got a half decent result today.
Goals, but only Liverpool have kept more clean sheets this season than Manchester United, and you've played with him second time round. You know what he's like. Is it important to have the way he speaks there and knowing the club, long affiliation with it, to have a little bit of that? They've lost McTominay, still in and around that dressing room.
Yeah, I think it is, and we're just saying now that Johnny knows the way of Manchester United. 36 years of age, I think he is, and you got to give him every credit. He was good today. There's just something that feels a little bit wrong about it to me, to have a player who's come back after so long. He just came to train with the team here to keep fit, and another year later he's Manchester United's best centre-half. That tells you that something isn't quite right. And look, Man United are 14th in the Premier League, so that also tells you something is not quite right. But I do agree with it. I think they were a lot better organised today. They look. That usually happens. It's normally quite wide open, but Mainu and I thought Eriksen next to him as well gave him a really solid platform. But I also think they were helped by Villa's game on Wednesday. I think it was a little bit of a flat game from Aston Villa. And as I said before, I think United just tried to survive in the game. He also said there as well, we were organised, compact, and just hoping we could get a goal on the counter-attack, which Manchester United. You think you'd have a little bit more than that, a little bit more.
You don't like
cleverness.
to hear that, do you, from a United player?
No, a bit of hope, yeah. But that's where we're at with Man United at the minute. That's why they're 14th in the Premier League, because they're not good enough to put the full package together. Let's say they can do one thing and maybe be gung ho and create chances, not always take the chances, or they can sit back like they have done today and just try and survive in the game.
United's current state today, has Johnny Evans helped with that experience, that know-how of the club?
Yeah, from Ten Hag's point of view, he certainly has, but it's game to day, game to game, which it shouldn't be. We saw Sir Jim Ratcliffe up there, Jason Wilcott's up there. Dan Ashworth's got to make a decision. You're going to live game to game as a Man United manager. Shouldn't be the case. Should be a plan going forward. You're going regressing.
Erik Ten Hag keeps telling us there is, and it's calm behind the scenes, and everyone's
stick
on
to the plan,
page.
he says. But I would say to him, what is the plan? And I'm sure the managers don't know the plan. If we know the plan, we can stick to it. And judge me at the end of the season. I wish we all could say that as manager. Judge me at the end of the season. Maybe I wouldn't be sitting here.
We'd miss you.
Unfortunately, you don't get that time, and certainly not as a Man United manager. Reality is, as a football manager, you win football matches or you get yourself sacked, and you take the brunt of the criticism. That's part and parcel of the job. We can all moan about it and we can all have self-preservation interviews and try and protect ourselves and blame injuries. And he signed 16 players, Steve. He spent gazillions of pounds. 7 of the 9 substitutes are his signings today. You know, big money signings. Some of them never got a kick at a football. 5 of the starting 11 are his signings. That is his squad. Show us something different. And rely on me going back to Johnny Evans, a 40-year-old centre-half.
36, just to quantify.
He looks 40 today. After the game, he looks 40. Is that all he is?
36.
No, he's a young man. I mean, I think it's disrespectful we keep talking settle into the Premier League, but stop all the excuses. He's got to settle. He's got the injuries. It's not my squad. Yes, it is your squad. You haven't got the injuries as much now. Everyone picks up injuries. We see with Aston Villa. Start performing. Start showing us a plan. Keeps talking about the plan. Show us the plan. And then we know if it's progression. We don't see any progression. Sometimes, like, let's use Jurgen Klopp. I know it's a rival of Manchester United. When he first came, it didn't happen for him straight away at Liverpool, but we could see there was a playing style of what he wanted to do, and the implementation was easy, and the signings were being brought in as Jurgen Klopp players. We could see it. It was clear. It's like, say it again, it's very difficult to scout for Manchester United because you don't know how the manager wants to play. Almost an impossible job to recruit, as it's being shown. You talked about not scoring goals. Yeah, they haven't won a game in 5 there. That's not Manchester United. They're 14th in the league. In relegation to keep clean sheets. That's what they do, getting numbers behind the ball and work hard and try and keep a clean sheet, and Arno relying on him. You don't score goals because you're not creating enough. And also, you haven't got enough centre-forwards. They've got 1 centre-forward at the football club. Xerxes is not a centre-forward. I don't know what he is at the moment. Højlund's a centre-forward. He's had injuries. He's coming back in. But he's not the answer. If you cannot produce a Højlund in your academy, then you need to close your academy, in my opinion. He's not top draw. He's not Manchester United. Where are the days when they're still spending the money, by the way? Where are the days when Manchester United Football Club went to Tottenham and say, we're taking your best player, Harry Kane. We're going to know. They did it time and time again. They took Michael Carrick, they took Berbatov, took Teddy Sheringham. You know, not only Tottenham, but all the top clubs. They're not at that level.
Got over it, Tim, anyway. So
they're living game to game. You can't live game to game as a Man United football club. Them owners need to look at that, and they need to make a decision. That's where they're at, Paul,
isn't it? They are at a week-to-week, game-to-game situation at the moment.
Yes, because they're not performing. I think Tim's right. I think in forward areas especially, I just don't think the quality's there. We go back to the most successful teams, they're capable of scoring goals. What we scored 5 goals now, maybe?
Only Southampton, fewer.
5 goals
in the whole Premier League.
In 7 games, whatever it may be. Now, we had 3 or 4 forwards who could get you 20 goals. So you're looking at 80 goals a season there. I just don't see that in the forward line of Manchester. Look, Højlund does all right, but is he going to score you 20 goals? I don't think so. Xerxes, as Tim said, what is he? Is he a number 9? Is he a number 10? Is he going to get you 20 goals? I don't think so. I think if Ugarte coming into the club, he was supposed to change the way the midfield was. He didn't play him. De Ligt, 50 million. Was it 50 million? Didn't play him. Johnny Evans is coming as a 36-year-old instead of him. Martinez, he brought him into the club. What's he thinking today? Johnny Evans is playing. Maguire started.
Even Lindelof came on.
Well, that's what I was saying. Maguire started. Lindelof comes on before him. It's just a mess of a recruitment mess, really. But as Tim said, when you don't have a style of play, you don't know how to play, or the way you want to play, it's very difficult to choose players. Like Liverpool's was quite simple to buy for, because you know what they're going to do. The 4-3-3, you can recruit for that. But when you don't have a style of play, you don't know how you're going to play. It changes from week to week. You just almost throw in balls in the air and say, yeah, he looks a good player. We'll try and get it. The quality's different. This isn't
the
Holland.
game's different.
He's got the best in Holland, of course, but in the Premier League, the best in Holland isn't good enough for England.
£540 million he spent as Manchester United manager. 0-0 then. United have drawn at Villa Park. Next up.
Unai, what are your thoughts about today's game and the performance of your team?
Fair, but we played the second half better than the first half. We controlled better, and at the end of the match we were closer of them to win the match. We tried. We had 2 chances, more or less, the last minute of the game, really clear, but we didn't score. But overall, trying to analyze now quick the first half, second half, I think the draw is fair.
And do you have to think about Wednesday when you assess today and think about the effects that will have had on the team?
We are focusing each match, trying to get our best performances, and of course today some refresh player maybe we needed, and we have some players injured, and Konsa injured, and McGinn and Ramsey out. But the player we have, another opportunity we can give them, like Ross Barkley, like Jadon, I think they are responding very well, and of course we are going to add more players for the next week, like Emiliano Buendia getting fit, and of course we will need the players helping with their characteristics as a player. And today we wanted and we prepared the match trying to win, but we didn't do. But we had to be overall in this month happy how we compete and we got the points and how we are in the table. I think is good for our way and how we are in this moment to try to build the team as strong as possible.
What is the early news on Ezri Konsa? Because that looks like another injury.
I don't know now, but hopefully it's not a lot. But of course, we are always in risk to have some injured players. I think for the next 2 weeks, coming back again in Premier League against Fulham, hopefully we can recover some players.
Has the break then come at actually a good time to get players back, or is it a bad time because you had such momentum?
We are playing out of matches and very excited and motivated matches, but the energy we are losing in each match is really huge. And when we can have some days off, I think it's good, and we can rest. We can again to recover our energy to try to push for the next month. But of course, the play there with the national team is very different, and hopefully they can come back being good and ready to play with us against Fulham in 2 weeks.
A good place in the Premier League, 2 wins out of 2 in the Champions League. At this second break, how many marks out of 10 would you give your squad and your team?
We are being demanding, we are competing very well, and of course we are happy in Champions League. We are happy as well in Carabao Cup. Next month we are going to play again 4 matches in Champions League, in Premier League, and difficult matches next month. We are going to play again for the next month, trying to continue being competitive like now, and of course being demanding like we are in our way.
Well, Eric, what's your assessment of the game today, the United performance today?
Also in possession part, I think we controlled the game. I think it was in balance. We create some chances, but not loads of it. But on the other side, also Villa couldn't create chances. So the two teams kept each other in balance. With a bit of luck, you can win the ball on the crossbar, but in the end, you can also lose when the deflected shot, the block from Diogo Dalot.
How important was it today to get that resilience after the last 2 games, conceding 3?
We have that resilience the whole season, but we concede 3 goals against Tottenham because we were downsized to 10 players, and still we went for a win. And then is the risk you concede some chances and also you collect some goals. But for the rest, this is our 4th clean sheet, and that tells we are in a good direction. And now also we improve defending the counterattacks, and that shows we are in a good direction. We control the game in possession by nice structures, but then in the final part, the third, we have to be more threat and especially be more clinical, more killing, and that is the problem throughout the season. And if you don't score, then it's difficult to win a game.
How can the players do that? Because last season scoring goals wasn't so much of a problem as it seems to be this season.
No, I think also last season was it, but first of all, when Rasmus is returning up to full speed, he then will help us because he can be very clinical in front of the goal. But also other players have to take their responsibility. Very pleased with the performance of Ressi. He was twice very close to a goal. On Thursday, he was a threat, score a goal and give an assist. Garnacho is the whole season a threat and also have key actions, but also other players can score. We know that is Bruno, for instance, Shekse, they can score goals, and we have to step up in that area.
One thing you could have done without today is injuries. Harry Maguire's didn't look great, and what's the news on Nusay Mazraoui as well?
Yeah, we had to take him off at halftime. I think Harry, everyone have seen, but Noes didn't feel well in halftime, so we had to take him off and we had to sub them. But tomorrow we have to see what is the diagnosis on it, on both of them.
You have this international break now. Is it a good time for the squad? What's going to happen for you in the next 2 weeks?
It's never a good time because you want to keep going in the process, and you see we are improving. But now, players go away, and every club coach has to deal with this. And then we have a short time to prepare the next game.